What do you get when you cross a beloved British icon with mighty V8 American muscle? The answer? One of the most unique custom builds you will ever see, and a car that would embarrass some of the fastest modern cars. Today, I'm here with avid car collector Pete and his amazing collection of cars. Pete, thank you very much for taking the time to meet me today. What a fantastic driveway you have here. And this is only just a snippet of some of the cars that you have, isn't it?
Yes, we've got another couple elsewhere, and we didn't have enough time today to do them all.
Well, that's it.
Maybe for the future we could do that.
We'll definitely do that. But today we're here to talk about your Morris Minors, and one Morris in particular.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the car.
Well, I've owned this car since 1972.
Wow.
I used to go down to the city square and meet like-minded people down the city square, and I'd always heard about this Morris Minor that somebody had put a Riley 1.5 engine into.
Okay.
And they also told me its registration number, BTS81, and that always stuck in my mind. Moving forward a wee bit, the Courier used to have car adverts, and all of a sudden, Morris Minor, unfinished project for sale. I went to see it. Now, the person I bought the car from was a guy called Dave Ewan, and he's still a friend to this day.
Wow.
He stays across in Tayport. So I bought the car, paid £100 for it, which was probably more than it was worth, to be quite honest. Took it home. My dad said, "What the hell have you done there?" So between the two of us, we reinstalled the engine. We put an interior in it, we put wiring in it, we painted it, basically got it ready for the road. So early 1973, it was on the road. It was black, it had wide banded steel wheels, lowered slightly, and that was it. And I thought I was Archie, as we call it.
I bet you did, yeah.
And the funny thing is, we went down the city square when it was all done, and David moved on to sort of fast minis at this time.
Okay.
And the Morris that he'd started, it turned out was actually quicker than all his fast minis. So I don't think he was particularly impressed, but there we go. But anyway, moving forward, over the years, I put in a better condition Riley 1.5.
The car's been through a few evolutions,
it's been through quite a lot of evolutions. So probably about a year after it was on the road, I put in another Riley 1.5 engine. And then at that time, I met a guy called Dunk Wood from Finhaven, and he was into the Morris Minors in a big way. And him and several friends had built some really sort of fancy Morris Minors, including a V8 Morris Minor back then. So that was a kind of a, well, I like that. But anyway, he had a Morris Minor with a full race MGB engine into it, and he was selling the engine, so I bought that. And again, paid £100 for that, which was a lot of money back then. Put it in. Unfortunately, it went bang after about 2 weeks, and that was a £200 bill to fix that.
Ouch.
But back in the early 70s, 73 sort of to 75, it was quicker than any RS2000 that was going about Dundee.
I bet it was, yeah.
Very fast, handled reasonably well. I'd uprated suspension and such like on it, and I basically used that as my daily.
Okay.
Ran it like that for quite a few years, and when I was on strike in 1977 with the fire brigade, the engine broke its crank, so I had to quickly find something else to put in it.
Good old British reliability, eh?
Well, it was highly tuned, too high compression
ratio,
so it was a bit much. But anyway, went down to Carlin scrapyard, which I'd used quite frequently in the past, and bought an MGB engine from there.
Perfect.
Standard engine, just put that in, and I was able to sort of continue the journey. Meanwhile, being on strike, it wasn't maybe the best of times. But moving forward, ran that for up till about 1988. Its last outing as a four-cylinder was 1988, I think. The Street Machine magazine was doing a round the Britain car cruise, and I met up with them at Wheeling in Scone. A lot of V8 cars there, and I thought, four-cylinder's not cutting it anymore.
Yep.
So I decided I would take the car to bits. The engine and gearbox went into a Wolseley 1500 I was doing.
Perfect.
The running gear went into another Morris Minor, so I was left with a body shell. Completely cut the floor out it, built a chassis, and put in a 5-litre Ford Mustang engine in it.
Wow, okay. So that was the sort of the first taster of what eventually this became then, yeah? Because originally the inline engines, it was an inline four,
it was a four-cylinder side valve engine, 918cc, around about 25 horsepower, top speed of 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, because there was 3 series of the, or more than 3 series.
There was the MM series, of which this is. They basically made Morris Minors in this format from 1948 to late 1950. There was a bit of a crossover, there were still a few cars unsold in 51. Then they moved on to the higher headlight versions, and that was solely because of the American market these headlights were deemed too low for America,
Right.
so they had to have them higher up, hence what everyone would associate with the Morris Minor look, the headlights and the wing. So they moved on to the Series 2, which was headlights on the wing, slightly different interior, still a split screen, a few sort of minor sort of details, and they moved on from that to, I think it was 57, to the Series 3,
I think it was.
the 948 Morrises. Then they had a Series 4, I think, that brought in about 62, 63, and that was a 1098, and they were there to the very end of Morris Minors in 1971.
Yeah.
So they've been very, very popular cars.
1.6 mil, over 1.6 million were sold across, and it was amazing to hear that they were actually quite popular in America. I didn't realise that.
Well, when this particular car was new, 95% of British cars were exported. So that was all your Austins, Morrises, Hillmans and all the rest of it. Didn't just go to America, they went all over the world. They actually had factories in Australia, New Zealand, Ireland that actually sent the cars across there in component form, and they were actually built. So if you bought a car in New Zealand, it may not be a Morris Minor colour, it will be their version of that colour, their version of the interior, and so on and so forth. And in fact, in all the time I've had this, I think I've only seen 2 or 3 lowlights, genuine lowlights, when I've had this. But there's more and more appearing, and they're coming from all over the world. People are buying them in New Zealand,
bringing them back across,
Australia,
back to home.
Canada. I actually lost one of the side flashes from this, and I got a new one, or another one from Canada.
That's amazing.
And I've had headlights from New Zealand. In fact, one of my friends, he immigrated to New Zealand, and his son runs a sort of a business solely buying old cars and exporting them worldwide.
Perfect.
So I can get parts for this.
It's all about who you know,
From him, it is exactly, yeah. But moving forward when I built it with the chassis and the 302, it was never actually put in the road, although it was registered at that time with that size of engine in it. A friend was doing me a favour, and between the two was we sort of built another chassis for it. Decided that the 302 wasn't big enough, so I got a 351 Cleveland.
Wow.
That was all put in it. Again, never fully finished, and I decided that the Cleveland, to get it to the power I wanted, was going to cost quite a lot of money, so it was easier to buy a crate or an engine, a cutout engine from another American car, and I chose the Chevrolet LS1, which was a friend of my brother's. He had said that that was the best engine to put in anything, and he indeed imported or exported C5 Corvettes and such like.
A lot of people love the LS engine. There's a lot of respect
I bought this engine in 2008. It's from a Chevrolet Camaro. The reason I chose that is the gearbox is attached to the engine, unlike a Corvette, the engine's in the back axle. It's also got a drive-by-cable throttle system rather than a drive-by-wire. So I bought the complete cutout engine from him and basically never looked back. Decided I was never going to finish the car myself, so I put it to a guy in Bishopton, a guy called Horace Morrison, who's a well-respected hot rod builder.
Perfect.
And he basically did all the engineering. One of his friends did the interior, and another friend of mine, Bob Faulkner, he did the spray job. In fact, he did the paint job on the 2 cars.
Both of them actually, because this is a Rover V8 as well.
That's a Rover 3.9 Rover V8 in that one.
So they've both got a bit of power and a bit of oomph to them.
That one's got a totally different build to this. This one, there's a full separate chassis for this car, and the body is basically dropped from the top. Yeah,
because when we talked in the past, you've done a lot of fabrication work to this to get that massive American engine to fit inside this, haven't you?
So basically, it's like a Skeletric car. So you've got the chassis, then the body just drops on top, and the body's obviously been amended.
Almost like a Land Rover to some extent,
But all the panel work, it's all sort of swaged and it's all painted up. Underneath the same colour as the top of the car. So it takes a bit of effort. When you go out in the wet, you have to sort of have a full day cleaning it when you come back. But it's got the 350 horsepower Chevy LS1.
Wow, what displacement is that?
It's a 5.7 litre.
5.7, wow. So the same displacement that's in your lovely looking Corvette over there, but a slightly older version of the engine, or is it similar?
I could swap the engines across, yes.
Perfect.
That's the same horsepower, that one, as this one is. There's
very
really no
expensive
difference.
parts car though, isn't it?
No, you can get parts on very easily.
Can you? Easy enough to import, well, as you were, especially for the American
There's
ones.
a company in America called Rock Auto, and if I order something today, the quickest you'll get it is 3 days. Now
Wow,
you try
impressive,
getting
yeah.
that for even a European car.
No, definitely not.
If they're actually in stock.
Uh-huh.
You can buy most things for this from Morris Minor specialists in this country. You can buy all the engine components, the back axle components from Rock Auto in America, and it's the same for the Corvette as well.
Brilliant.
So the spares availability is not really an issue.
That's good.
There is the hardest thing to get for the likes of had to replace the bonnet or the wings or the front panel. They're in very short supply because the car is now, well, the newest one of them is going to be 55-year-old.
Jeez.
So that's more difficult. But you can get somebody to make new wings if indeed
if you have to, yeah.
If you have to. But I say it's got the full chassis. It's a 4.9-inch back axle with a limited slip diff on it.
Excellent.
The back axle is 6 links, so it's the four links with a watch linkage on it as well. And the back wheels are 10 by 15, the front are 5.5 by 15.
Fairly decent width so that you can put at least a bit of that power down there.
It's fine in the dry, in the wet it's a different ball game.
I remember you telling me that.
Extremely careful.
Fingers crossed the weather holds. It's a little bit touch and go for us at the moment.
Whereas the Blue Morris, it was built by a company called Auto Fantasia back down in Derby back in I think the late 70s. And it's a different concept. It was very much of the 70s, the drag back end, jacked up at the back, the full deraillon interior, the shaved door handles and such like. But they actually built the chassis into the car.
Okay.
So it makes for a very strong structure.
Of course, yeah.
But it's a different concept. And that's got a Vauxhall Chevette front suspension on it. And it's got the independent drag gear back axle on it.
Perfect. Sounds like quite a lot of the parts can be potentially interchangeable. That's the beauty of the older cars, really, isn't it? That some parts you can, as long as you know who you're to talk to. And,
yes,
and
well,
when
I'm not here, my son might have difficulty sourcing where all the stuff came from, which is just one of these unfortunate things.
Yeah.
But the Rover V8 was used in just about every hot rod, every second hot rod
for a long time. Yeah.
And they are an older engine now. They're still reliable. There's still reasonable power out of them. But to get the similar power out of a Rover V8 as you would out of a Chevy LS, you just won't do it unless you spend a huge amount of money on them.
Of course.
But for an indication, put a supercharger on this Morris here, you get an extra 200 horsepower quite easily without doing anything really other than putting new valve springs and fuel injectors on it. Try and get 500-600 horsepower out of a Rover V8, you're talking about a race engine.
Big bucks at that point,
Yep.
yeah. Because you've had to do, because the engine sits quite far back in this, doesn't it? You've had to do a lot to the interior and the floor pan, I believe you were telling me last time.
If you could imagine, the whole floor has been cut out of the car and is now been remanufactured. And I said it's all swaged and it looks nice and pretty.
It is lovely inside.
And
a big difference between the two of them for sure.
The seats have been moved back, so it's essentially a two-seater. I would say the other one's basically a 2+2. They have seats in the back of that one. It's an Audi TT interior in that one.
But only if you're
you can get one person that could sit across the back, I suppose, in it. But you very rarely take anyone in it anyway.
That's it. Is that, with it being a two-door as well, I could imagine trying to get in and out of it isn't particularly easy. And with this one, you've had to do some work to get the pedals in place, haven't you? They're in a bit of an offset compared to this one, aren't they?
They're kind of similar. All the difference is really there's less space in this one because of the bulkhead coming into the car. And you have to be very careful. If you're wearing wider shoes, it's very easy to touch the brake and accelerate at the same time.
Well, that's why I'm going to let you to drive today.
And one time my son was driving it out the drive there and he nearly ended up in the hedge across there because he touched both at the same time. And it will drive through the brakes very easily.
I bet it would.
It's an automatic gearbox on it, and when it's cold it's revving slightly higher, and it's quite a hard hold in the brakes to actually do it, which you'll discover. Yeah,
well, as I say, I'm going to let you drive today purely for that, but it's an absolutely incredible car and an amazing collection. Definitely would like to get you back on the channel with the rest of them, because there's a Chevy Bel Air as well.
Yeah, it's got a similar LS style engine in that as well.
Excellent.
It's probably if somebody was to sort of look at them, they would pick the Bel Air as their favourite car because it's a really nice.
I've seen pictures of it. It's lovely. I would definitely love to get that on. But
you can have a shot at driving that one. That's easiest to drive. And you can have a shot at the Corvette as well if you want.
Definitely one day we'll get that arranged.
But these two are, unless you were used to it, very easy to
totally understand. With that in mind, then will we hit the road?
We can, no problem. Yep.
Excellent.
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
Would you mind giving it a wee blip at the throttle? Wonderful. Here we are, we're out in what is my first experience in a Morris Minor, but I don't feel like I'm getting the true experience of a Morris Minor here, Pete.
No, this is probably, I'm doing 40 just now, it's a 40 limit. So there would only be another 20 miles an hour to go if it was an original Morris Minor.
Of course, yeah.
But it's actually just running in third gear just now.
Excellent. And
it's very high gear, but 70 mile an hour is 2,000 revs.
Perfect.
So it's just essentially ticking over.
Because top speed, or sorry, acceleration 0 to 60 was about 50 odd seconds, I believe, in the original ones.
This is under 4 seconds.
Wow.
I can open it up a wee bit here. I'll just wait till these people clear.
Wow, that V8 noise is incredible, because it's so close to you, you just hear everything, don't you?
Yeah. It's not too obtrusive.
It's good though, because it adds into the experience of this car, doesn't it?
That's it in the top gear just now, and that's again bang on 70 to start.
It just cruises along, and with it being a big V8, that will have so much more to give it. It will, as you say, just rest in very low revs at this speed.
But it'll kick down to second gear at this speed.
That could get quite addictive, I would imagine.
It does. You have to be very careful when you do it.
Of course, yeah. You've said that you had this on the drag strip. What's the top speed that you've had out of it?
Well, its best is 12.2 to 116. And it's only going through the stripe at the end at 4,500 revs in third gear.
Right, okay.
So it's got another gear still to go, so its actual top speed would probably be 150 plus.
You're actually running out of runway to be able to find out.
The trail is very short, so as soon as you just come on the stripe, you just break it down.
And how do the brakes operate at that kind of speed?
Well, they're fed flat-pot calipers on it.
Right, okay, that's not so bad.
They're not servo, they've got a bias pedal box on it, so it's adjusted so that it stops reasonably well.
Excellent. Because you want to make sure that you've got the stopping power to match the raw power that this engine will produce, doesn't it?
That's exactly. Obviously, in the way it doesn't have ABS or any driver aids.
Wow.
So you have to be really, really careful.
You've only got those 10-inch tyres and the 5-inch ones on the front really connecting you to the road,
That's
eh?
it.
But no, what an absolute wonderful experience this is. The noise, the smell, it just adds to the drama of the car. It's quite an event to be in here. It's excellent.
And it's a windy day today as well, so it's just sitting here, sitting tight, and just effortless.
How aerodynamic was the Morris Minor back in the day? What's the sort of drag coefficient?
Not a clue. Although that's a strange thing. One of my friends was a long-time Morris Minor enthusiast as well. He was actually a physics teacher, and he made a model of a Morris Minor and put it in a
wind tunnel. Brilliant.
And he said it was still aerodynamically stable at 150.
Wow, okay.
But there's a lot of faster Morris Minors than this.
Is there, yeah.
Like racing ones, and in America they can be putting stupid power through them.
Excellent.
1,000 horsepower and such like.
It's amazing that they've got such following across the globe. I think that's incredible. I would love to see the various ones that the other individuals come out with. My mum had a Morris Minor as her first car, and it was obviously a far departure of what this is. So, yeah, just the work that you've done to this, the look of it, it all feels like standard. You know, the lovely dash that you've got here, the dials, the seats. Just, it looks like it could have came out the factory like this.
It would have been nice if they did.
Yes, I bet.
And this is a relatively comfy road, so it's driving along. It's quite nice, you know.
Yeah, how do you find it handles in the corners then, Pete?
It handles better than a normal Morris Minor, but it doesn't handle as well as the Blue Morris.
What is that?
This is done, this pro street style.
Straight line speed.
So it's the narrow front track, all the the three wheels are within the bodywork, so it's a bit narrower, but the suspension, it's coil springs all round, so it handles reasonably well. It's not something you would throw about models like a Mini,
No.
but it handles acceptably.
But as you say, you've not built it for that purpose. It's for street racing, and it definitely fits that purpose quite well. What is your favourite thing about it, Pete? What makes you get into it and it makes you excited to drive it?
Well, the fact that I've had it for 53 years.
That is a tight spell, yeah.
Every time you go in it, you've got memories of what you've done in the past. Now this car has been crashed, it's been stolen, it's been vandalised.
Everything's happened to the car.
Everything happened to it. It's happened to it. It's been down as far as Plymouth to up north, so it's been all over the place. And I've probably done over 100,000 miles on it.
Excellent.
Over the years.
And it's nice that you've had, not only have you had it for that length of time, so there's the sentimental value that you've got with the car, but you've managed to evolve it. It's had multiple evolutions during that period of time, so it's never really been the same car for a long period of time because you're continually adding or improving it.
Well, I would say I won't be doing anything more to it. I'll just keep it in the condition.
This is its final evolution.
I did think that I should maybe sort of tune the engine, even with the supercharger, for it to be quicker like trail, but to be honest, for a road car, it's more than fast enough.
Yeah.
When we get into bother the way it is,
I suspect it would. Because I would imagine the power to weight ratio on this would be something else.
Yeah, well, it's simple. The engine's 350 horsepower, the car weighs 1,100 kilograms.
Wow.
So it's a reasonable power to weight ratio.
And how does, with that being such a big block that's in there, how does that sort of differentiate between the Rover V8 version that you've got?
Well, this is an all-alloy engine as well.
So it's quite light then?
So it'll be, we would say, a very similar weight to the Rover V8.
Okay.
In fact, it's probably lighter than the MGB 1800 engine that was on it.
Okay.
And because the engine's so far back, it's not over the front wheels, so the car is essentially balanced 50-50.
Excellent, yeah, that's really cool. That's fantastic to know, yeah, with it obviously sitting so far back.
To give you an idea, in America they do have basically a kit to put the LS engine into, like a Mazda RX-8.
I've seen it in an MX-5, I know that they do that quite a lot.
The weight of the LS engine compared to the supercharged the Mazda RX-8 is within a few pounds, so it's not a particularly heavy engine. When they put these in Porsches, rather than the Porsche engine.
I've seen a lot of people doing that, and with the K engine as well from the Honda Civic Type R's, it's quite a popular swap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see what mine would be like, my 996 with an LS swap engine. And perhaps if I ever were to do it, you seem to be the man that would be able to give me as much education and knowledge as I could possibly get.
The thing is, if you're looking for a value for your car, as a resale value, it may detract from the value to what not the original engine in the car, which is always a thing to consider. But my Chevy Bel Air, which has got the 6-litre version of this in it, it's probably been enhanced in value because it makes it a more usable car.
Of course, yeah.
But there are some cars, like, take for example, a Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escort.
Of course,
if you have to put in a non-original Ford engine, it would possibly devalue the car. So you have to be very aware of, maybe for me, the value in this is the length of time I've had it.
The sentimentality.
So it's not really the resale value, that doesn't count it.
Well, that's it. This is your forever car, isn't it? You've had it for so long.
It'll be passed on to the family.
Are you going to give it to your son?
Yeah, well, he'll get it to you, or even the grandchildren. Just have to wait and see. Hopefully I'll be for a few years yet.
Fingers crossed for sure. But it's quite nice that, because your son would have grown up with this car also.
That's right, yes.
It's amazing. In regards to the potential engine swap for the 996, the engine is the 996's Achilles heel because of bore scoring and whatnot. So it may be one of those things that whilst the purists would probably scoff at, it might actually bring in a little bit of positivity for the car. Unfortunately, we've just hit the point of a slight bit of rain there, so we managed to avoid it for the most part, but hopefully it's not too serious. We're heading back now anyway. But yeah, we certainly don't want to be seeing what this thing is like in the wet, going by what you were saying earlier.
No, you have to be very careful because it'll lose traction quite easily at the back. But the good point is it's got very long travel in the throttle, so you'd have to press it reasonably hard to get it to do that. So just feathering the throttle is absolutely fine. And because it's a fuel-injected engine, there's no sort of glitches, or it just drives smoothly right through the rev range, so it is quite controllable and quite docile, really.
Yeah, it sounds quite manageable, actually, considering the beating heart of it is such a ferocious monster. It does sound, even at this at 30 miles an hour, I would have actually expected a little bit more creaking and noise coming from the car itself, but it's very quiet, excluding the massive V8 that's in front of us.
My wife said that has got more rattles in it than this.
My BMW is atrocious for it, for sure. That
Which is
X5.
shocking.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be noisier, but it is. It's a lovely place to be. There's, as we were talking about earlier on, there's not much space for your feet. I could only imagine what it would be like actually trying to deal with those pedals over there. But yeah, what an absolutely lovely place to be. And the race harnesses on the seat, they just add to the whole experience. It's amazing. So I could imagine with this being a car from the 60s and no air conditioning and that massive engine that we have up front, it could get potentially quite hot on a hot day then, yeah?
On a hot day it gets very warm, so the window gets opened, it's got the quarter lights, which is essentially your air conditioning.
Is that what you've got, yeah? And do you know what, they do quite well actually, they open up.
It works fine.
But no, what an absolute incredible car, and the interior changes that you've made to the car here, Peter. You were saying earlier on you were swithering over getting potential Recaros, but you've went for seats from a Corsa.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
It just helps keep the interior of this car feel period correct, doesn't it?
Yes,
Again, it just adds into the quality of the work that has been done to this car. So you were saying earlier on the work that you've done is a mixture of work that you've done and others have done there.
Yes, yeah? The main person, well, people to thank really, Horace Morris from Bishopton. He runs a car sort of a hot rod and restoration business, and my friend Bob Faulkner up in Arbroath, who did the paint job.
Yeah, and it's an exquisite job that he's done on the paint there. I take it it's not a standard Morris colour then?
No, it's actually a Rover colour. It's
Is it? Wow.
Rover X Power Grey. I'd always liked the MGFs and the Rovers back in the 80s that were this colour. Because it does sparkle in the sunshine, so I thought I would like to have that.
Yeah, out of the two of them, which is your preferred colour? Because the blue is also a fantastic looking colour.
The blue is an eye-catching colour.
It is, yeah.
I do prefer this being a bit more understated.
It's very subtle. Yeah.
The other Morris was in that colour when I got it, so I just had a refresh. Again, I liked it.
Brilliant.
But this type of road surface now with a slight bit of dampness on it, that's probably the worst road surface for.
Very smooth.
For opening it up.
Almost like sheet ice, I would imagine, in some instances.
And here it's dry, here it's not been raining here.
Yeah, but we must just be getting out of it, it must just be over there a bit. Just that noise, that must be quite addictive.
It is, yeah. And it keeps cooling. That doesn't really stop, it just keeps going.
Do you find that a lot of people try to sort of race you in this? You get a lot of boy racers trying to put their cars against it?
Funnily enough, not really.
Wow.
Not at all. I probably get that more with the Corvette.
Okay,
yeah,
I see that.
Because the car's been around in this particular area for so long that an awful lot of people know it anyway.
Know it, yeah.
And they know what it's probably capable of. But
don't want to embarrass themselves.
The funny thing is, it'd be more likely somebody in a sort of a 1 litre Fiesta that would do it rather than somebody with something that was a bit faster.
Of course, yeah. Do you use this fairly regularly then?
I use it for one doesn't they use in the winter, because there's no way to put it on the road with the salt nowadays.
Of course, yeah.
Because over the years, it has been outside in all weathers, in the snow and the ice, but that obviously takes its toll. So it's tucked up for the winter.
Old British steel doesn't do well with this sort of weather, does it?
Well, it's actually better than what Japanese steel was, and in fact, the Mazdas were probably one of the worst.
As an owner of an MX-5 Mark 1, I am well versed in rust.
They're shocking. So it's actually not too bad.
I find it's the same with German cars these days. You see a lot of Volkswagens and Mercs with really bad front arches and stuff, and it's just not the quality that you would expect. So it's great to hear that this has not only stood the test of time, but because of the work that you've done to keep it, mitigate the potential of rust. But you've got to look after them, as you say. You don't want to put them in positions where you're going to potentially exacerbate those things happening. I
mean, when I put it back on the road to begin with, it was doing maybe 4,000 or 5,000 miles a year, and that was back in sort of 2013 when I went back on the road again. They used to do the runs all down south and such like. But to be honest, I cannot be bothered with the level of traffic as soon as you go over the border.
Aye.
There be an idea. I went down to Morris Minor Rally. It took 4 hours to get from Abington Services to Scotch Corner.
That sounds horrendous, yeah.
I'm not doing that again.
On that note, you run a car club, don't you? Can you tell us a little bit about your car club, Pete?
Yes, the car club is called East Coast Cruisers. It was formed about 2011, and they used to meet we used to meet kind of all over. It's Arbroath, down beside McDonald's in Arbroath. Then we met in the Creighton coaching for a while.
Okay, yeah, I've been there, yes.
Then there was a bit of a hiccup with the club, and it kind of reformed under sort of a new structure. And we now meet up in Forfar at Starbucks on a Tuesday, starting about 6:30 of the evening.
I've been on one of those runs, it was good fun.
Now what we do is, if it's a nice night, we'll go, and this year has been particularly good.
Of course, yeah.
We go for a run out to maybe Arbroath, Blairgowrie, Dodgy Ferry, Dundee. We've been across to St Andrews, Anstruther. The darker nights come, they essentially turns into kind of like a man's club. We just meet in Starbucks and we put the world to rights.
Solve all the world's problems, yeah.
We're very fortunate in the club. It kind of started off as mostly American cars, but it's evolved into a car for basically everybody. So we've got hot rods from the 1920s, right up to modern Bentleys, and absolutely everything in between. To give you an example, with four absolutely mints. The Mark 1 Escorts, they appeared on Tuesday past there, so there's a nice lineup of them at Arbroath Harbour. So it's a very eclectic mix of cars.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to join you guys at the Creighton Car Show, and the thing that stood out for me was just the sheer amount of variety of cars that you guys had on offer, whether it be old British cars or American cars and some German cars and that there as well. It was a really eclectic mix, as you say.
There's some nights it's predominantly American cars up at the Starbucks. Other times it's Escorts. Other times it's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, because there's a Dodge Viper that comes out something like that night.
Yeah, Nathan from he comes along on his Viper. We've got, I think, 6 Corvettes in the club.
Yep, I've seen them, and there was a Challenger as well. Was it a Challenger?
Yes. And we've got the Bentleys, Rolls Royce, Escorts, Vauxhall Cresta.
What wonderful. Right, one of them recently.
Then we got Volkswagen, Sirocco, Beetles.
That's really fantastic, because when we were at Creighton, for example, a lot of the modern cars are very similar to one another. It's a Ford Fiesta or a Ford Focus, and they all, with the exception of a more outlandish wrap, they're all very visually similar, aren't they? And it's nice to have that mixture of cars and enthusiasts that come out to these.
The thing is, you have to consider that this is an old car now, and people that remember this from their youth are probably a similar age to myself. And things move on, essentially. At the moment, it's Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts that are the big thing. And that's primarily because people remember them. They've got a bit of money now, they can afford to buy one of them because they're not cheap nowadays.
No, they're not, no.
And that situation will change, and they'll move on to cars maybe of the 90s, and then it'll be the 2000s. I mean, they classify a classic car now as anything after 2000. I view that as a model car.
Yeah.
But that's just the way life is.
I'm lucky, my Porsche just makes the tipping point at 1999. So I can say that I finally own my first classic car, although I had the Mark 1 MX-5 before, the Unos, but that unfortunately rusted itself to death.
They are quite rusty.
Yeah. Pete, that was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you very much for giving me probably what is just a snippet of what this car is capable of doing. It is an absolutely amazing experience. First time in a Morris Minor, and if I was to be in any Morris Minor, I am so glad that it was this one.
Yes, that's a bit different anyway, so it hopefully it'll last a lot longer and we'll see how it goes, but the other one drives totally different to this.
There we have it, Pete. Wow, what an amazing experience that was.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. Thank you very much for letting me come out and experience what is far the most monstrous Morris Minor I could have the possibility of getting out in. Thank you for that. It's amazing.
With drops.
So let's one day get the Chevy Bellier on. We can maybe do something with the Corvette if you were up for it as well. Yeah,
absolutely fine.
Excellent. Well, guys, if you've enjoyed our road trip today in this amazing Morris Minor, make sure to call shotgun in the next one by subscribing to the channel and liking the video, and we'll be sure to put you in the passenger seat in the next one. Pete.